In the absolute shadows of the Cold War, the greatest casualties were often staggering national budgets. These are the top 10 multi-billion-dollar military blunders that nearly bankrupted global superpowers.
Number 10. The supersonic interceptor that tragically fell from the sky.
1962, Bonn, West Germany. Allied forces invested heavily in a revolutionary high-speed interception aircraft. Designed strictly for clear weather combat, it was improperly modified into a heavy, all-weather bomber. This fundamental engineering miscalculation led to an unprecedented series of tragic, catastrophic operational failures. The highly expensive fleet lost nearly a third of its aircraft, devastating the national defense budget. Billions of dollars were completely vanquished, earning the machine the grim nickname of the Widowmaker. Number 9. The massive lunar dream that spectacularly incinerated billions.
1969. Baikonur Cosmodrome, Soviet Union. Engineers desperately rushed the launch of a monumental spacecraft.
The immense, unproven engines triggered a massive chain reaction, resulting in the largest non-nuclear explosion ever recorded. Years of meticulous planning were instantly vanquished in a towering, devastating inferno of shattered metal. This catastrophic, multi-billion-dollar failure permanently crippled the ambitious lunar program of the opposing superpower forever. While rockets failed spectacularly above, our next expensive military disaster could not even track a simple target.
Number 8. A costly misfire, previewing our ultimate number 1.
1982, California, United States. The military invested billions developing a heavily armored, computerized anti-aircraft weapon system. During a highly anticipated demonstration, the sophisticated radar completely failed to track the designated aerial drones. Instead of targeting the sky, the rogue targeting system unexpectedly locked onto a nearby exhaust fan. This deeply embarrassing malfunction forced the immediate cancellation of the utterly compromised $2 billion defense initiative.
The project was completely eliminated. But an even greater financial catastrophe emerged from the deep when...
Number 7. The incredibly expensive, failed deep ocean submarine heist.
1974, Pacific Ocean. Intelligence agencies spent billions constructing a massive salvage vessel for a secret mission.
Their highly classified goal was entirely focused on retrieving a sunken foreign submarine from the ocean floor. During the incredibly tense lifting process, the colossal target tragically snapped, losing the most valuable technological secrets. This costly maritime operation was exposed, triggering absolute diplomatic and financial ruin.
While billions sank beneath the dark waves, our next enormous financial blunder attempted to skim above them.
Number 6. The bizarre, colossal aircraft that completely drained resources.
1987. Caspian Sea, Soviet Union.
Weighing nearly 400 tons, the colossal machine devoured an extraordinary portion of the national defense budget.
During a highly classified test flight, a simple pilot error caused the incredibly expensive Leviathan II.
The colossal prototype crashed spectacularly during a routine flight, instantly erasing decades of highly expensive development.
High Command ultimately abandoned the incredibly costly project, leaving the rusted Titan to rot completely.
The Cold War fueled endless financial black holes. Before we expose the top 5 colossal disasters, ensure you do not miss any historical revelations. Secure your subscription to War Cinema 4K immediately.
Number 5. A navigational disaster, rivaling our ultimate number 1.
1958, Cape Canaveral, United States. Engineers developed an incredibly expensive, long-range strategic cruise missile system designed to fly thousands of miles. The complex guidance computers were notoriously unreliable and highly erratic. Numerous expensive test units completely lost their navigation, flying far off course into deep tropical jungles.
The surrounding ocean was notoriously filled with so much wreckage, it gained a deeply humiliating nickname.
The multi-billion-dollar project was scrapped entirely. But our next colossal failure was a gigantic.
Number 4. The supersonic behemoth, rendered completely obsolete before deployment. 1964. California, United States. Engineers constructed an incredibly expensive,
Conceived to effortlessly outrun interceptors at high altitudes, it consumed a staggering $1 billion budget. However, rapid advancements in highly accurate ground-based anti-aircraft missiles instantly nullified its entire tactical advantage. The colossal program suffered a devastating blow when one prototype was tragically lost during a photo shoot. The majestic Titan was immediately canceled, leaving the sole surviving prototype securely locked in a museum.
While the Valkyrie failed in the sky, a far more toxic financial disaster lurked, completely submerged.
Number 3. The incredibly expensive titanium submarine that deafened sonar arrays.
1971, Severodvinsk, Soviet Union. Engineers forged a fleet of ultra-fast attack submarines using incredibly expensive titanium hulls.
These metallic leviathans easily outran defensive torpedoes, boasting unprecedented speeds deep beneath the freezing ocean surface.
However, their advanced nuclear reactors were notoriously unstable, requiring constant, highly specialized maintenance to prevent meltdowns.
Furthermore, the exotic engines were so unbelievably loud they instantly alerted opposing navies across the ocean. The fleet was ultimately abandoned, leaving billions of dollars rusting silently in isolated, weathered naval graveyards. While submarines rusted, our next monumental financial disaster attempted to completely reinvent modern stealth aviation.
Number 2. A stealth illusion, previewing our ultimate multi-billion-dollar blunder.
1983, Missouri, United States. The military invested staggering fortunes to develop a futuristic, triangular stealth attack bomber.
But as costs spiraled out of control, desperate contractors secretly resorted to.
The ambitious stealth bomber project consumed nearly $5 billion without producing a single flyable prototype.
Facing insurmountable engineering hurdles and massive weight issues, the entire futuristic fleet was abruptly canceled.
This monumental cancellation sparked decades of bitter legal battles between furious military contractors and the government.
But while the stealth bomber burned billions, our ultimate military blunder aimed straight for the stars. Prepare for the absolute pinnacle of Cold War financial devastation, an initiative that defied reality itself.
Number 1. The Astronomical Space Laser Project that accomplished nothing.
1983, Washington, D.C., United States. Leaders announced an incredibly ambitious orbital shield to intercept incoming weapons.
The futuristic proposal demanded utterly impossible technological leaps, absorbing tens of billions of national defense funds. Despite the staggering financial sacrifice, top scientists soon realized the entire orbital shield possessed a fatal. The required computing power and targeting lasers were fundamentally decades beyond any existing technological capabilities.
Billions of dollars were rapidly burned, attempting to construct impossible orbital mirrors and massive particle weapons.
Massive underground testing facilities were hastily built, consuming enormous portions of the national financial reserve.
Critics fiercely mocked the Astronomical initiative, officially dubbing the struggling program a pure science fiction fantasy.
However, this incredibly expensive, non-functional program inadvertently triggered a completely unexpected geopolitical reaction.
Opposing foreign leaders became deeply terrified by the sheer economic scale of the futuristic defensive shield.
Desperate to compete, the rival superpower aggressively exhausted their already fragile domestic economic infrastructure.
They poured catastrophic amounts of money into their own orbital weapons, fatally crippling their entire nation.
But as the dust finally settled on these 10 colossal disasters, one deeply disturbing truth emerged.
The ultimate victory wasn't achieved through deployed weapons, but by systematically bankrupting the opposition entirely.
Trillions of dollars were sacrificed globally, leaving behind vast, rusting monuments of pure strategic paranoia. Generations silently funded an endless arms race that ultimately produced monumental, completely unusable scrap metal. These 10 multi-billion-dollar blunders perfectly define the absurd and devastating financial theater of modern warfare. Their rusted husks still litter the smudged dry earth, serving as permanent reminders of unchecked military ambition. Because in the ultimate shadow war, the absolute true loser is whoever runs out of funding first.
Don't get left behind when the next siren wails. Subscribe to War Cinema 4K now.